everyone, FusedVR, and today I wanted to take some time to talk about CoCo VR and just kind of my thoughts going through that. And real quick before I do that, I just wanted to mention that, again, we have our beta for our AR kit game that we're launching soon. So if you want to check it out before it actually goes on the App Store, just fill out the form that's in the description, and we'll send that your way. And two, we're working on getting a live stream sometime this month. No promises, but there are a lot of other competing factors for our time, like this app launch, that are kind of making it difficult to get us to that live stream. But we're really looking towards trying to make something happen. If not, it'll definitely happen in January. All right, let's dive into CoCo VR. So real quick about the slideshow, the reason I'm putting that up there is because I think CoCo VR is one of those experiences that's best going in without knowing anything. And the reason for that is it is actually an experience. The whole value of it is being able to go in and explore this giant story. Now, if you remember the very first time you've tried VR, so whether that was Cardboard, whether that was a Vive, whether that was a Rift, CoCo VR gives you that feeling of basically trying your first VR experience again. And that's really what makes it so memorable. So at a high level, what CoCo VR is really a hybrid between a VR game and an interactive story. Now, normally I don't really like to use the term interactive story, mainly because a game in and of itself usually can encompass a story. But I think CoCo VR is one of those things that kind of fits that niche of telling a very short story. If you think about it, it makes a ton of sense because it's made by Pixar, which is known for making giant movies that tell incredible stories. But if you remember, traditionally with Pixar movies, you'd also get a tiny short story, usually at the beginning of the movie, that just kind of, it didn't necessarily have to do anything with what the movie was, but it was just this nice little added touch. And that's kind of what CoCo VR is. It's one of those things that if you want, you can do it really quickly. The whole app, if you wanted to go start to finish, you could probably do maybe in 5 to 10 minutes. But I mean, that's not what CoCo VR is about. It's really about exploring. My first playthrough, what I ended up doing was probably spending about 30 to 40 minutes just trying to find everything I could. And then I accidentally came across the ending. And so immediately I was like, wait, no, I want to go back and then try out everything I can. And that's when you know that you've built something that's really special, is the fact that as any user, you want to just kind of go through and be like, wait, give me more, give me more, give me more. And CoCo VR kind of delivers on that. It has a lot of content built in there. There are a bunch of different environments that you can go and explore. But I mean, of course, it's not without its imperfections. There are things that you can't explore. So for example, if you try to put your head into a lot of different objects, for whatever reason, it ends up pushing you back and you can't actually go through. Just kind of frustrating, and sometimes when you accidentally do it. But I mean, that's just like nitpicking details. Regardless of that, there's still so many different little things to explore. I'll give you one little detail that I thought just gets you back to feeling like a kid again. There's this part where you go up really high in the experience, and so you're standing on this sort of tower. On the edge of the tower are little tiny paper airplanes. You can pick these up and just throw them out into the distance. And for whatever reason, that's just, it's not the most perfect airplane in the world. Like, there's no giant physics mechanic. A lot of it's kind of pre-baked animations. But still, it kind of gives you that feeling of being a kid again. And I think that's something that Pixar has generally been really good at doing, and they really nailed it here in CoCo VR. And I think that's one of those things that just makes it such an awesome experience. The other thing that, I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but I'll mention it, is the art. The art is stunning, and it makes sense because a lot of the models and a lot of the textures, a lot of everything in this experience was built for a movie. Obviously, when you're building for a movie, the textures and everything is much more higher detailed. So when they have to bring it down into a VR setting, they're going to have to reduce a lot of that detail. But regardless, it's absolutely stunning what they've done. I think probably the best example of this is the skybox. And it almost feels like it has a sense of depth to it. I'm not sure if they're doing any trickery with that to actually make it look like it has depth, but it's a little animated skybox. It's nothing crazy, but again, it just keeps on bringing you into the environment, making you feel immersed, and just overall just has that, again, really childlike feeling that you feel like you can do pretty much anything and you're going to be rewarded with something. And I think that's the part that really makes CoCo VR unique. Even if it's short, that's okay, because just the detail in there lets you explore for as long as or little as you want. That's what really makes it truly unique. And going back to experiencing things, one of the big problems that games even have is that when you go to explore something, it's good game design to kind of figure out ways to hint at the user what they should do and just help them along that process. Oftentimes what ends up happening in poor game design is you'll just explicitly tell someone what to do. So I think the canonical example is that you're told automatically, like, press the left arrow to move left or press the right arrow to move right. And I mean, players generally don't like to do that. What CoCo VR does really uniquely is there are probably 3, 4, maybe 5 instances of like forced dialogue that happen throughout the whole experience. And the rest is up for you to figure out what you need to do, how to move. There are a couple of instances where they'll put up a little picture on like what you need to actually do to move forward. And I think that's also part of good game design, is making sure no one gets stuck. But at the same time, the beauty of it comes from the fact that you're able to figure it out for yourself. And then once you do, you get a reward for it, and it's just constant good game design to help you actually continually move through this experience. And again, going back to that theme, making sure that you feel like a kid again. And in that sense, it really nails all of those 3 aspects. It has amazing looking art, it has amazing game design, and it has a really simple but pretty compact story. And I mean, of course, it's coming from Pixar, and that's really what makes it exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely, if you have a VR headset, I believe this is available on the Oculus store. So definitely, if you have a Rift or the Gear VR, you can check it out. There's also a hack if you use Revive. I believe you're gonna need the latest version, which is like the beta, to actually get it to work. But then you can try it out on the Vive. And trust me, like when you try this out, you'll really enjoy it. So make sure to check it out. It's free. So if you have any of these headsets, really worth checking out, and just be amazed at how far we've come with VR. And it's just a really exciting time. I definitely go check it out. And until next time, this has been FusedMan, and I'm signing out.